One of my subscribers today requested that I do a video exclusively about Glenn Beck. I'm really kind of surprised I've never done an exclusive video on Glenn Beck. I've done so many on Alex Jones and all the other satellites around the disinformation planets. To be honest with you, brother, I've always considered him kind of like a no-brainer. He's so extreme with his ridiculous delivery. You've made a good point that he's pretty much the only person like that in mainstream that has a large following. Alex Jones on the other yin and yang side of it with the alternative crowd. Beck handles this, the conspiracy department, wacko fringe, losing it on camera moments in the mainstream. But if you'll remember, nobody has the real answers, but he was likely fired when he started talking about the Rothschilds and the Federal Reserve when he had his last episode on Fox. Yeah, he has his shtick where he does his blackboard, and he's actually been filmed prepping his eyes with tear duct instigators to make him cry on camera. He's that much of a phony, and he laughs in all of your faces. I mean, that's documented. I mean, that's worse than Jones. And so much of an over-the-top, no-brainer scenario that you don't really even have to work very hard to realize it. With Jones, you gotta go through a lot of vids to see his moments of giving himself away, but Beck does it routinely. You asked to talk about his Zionist gatekeeping. Well, I actually got in a little bit of a argument with a guy on a thread that I can't believe I let myself be baited into it. He just starts in with throwing stats at me about, Israel and Palestine, the death totals, and what diplomat on either side said what, or what peace accord fell through because of whatever dispute. When it comes to Israel, I mean, that's another no-brainer. I mean, the Palestinians are being massacred. They're being exterminated. It's genocide. If you look at a map of Israel with the dichotomy colors of red and green showing, which was Jewish controlled 100 years ago, which was Arab controlled, and if Arab are green, the green disappears and disappears over the course of the years on a very, very consistent but exponential level. There aren't many left, and there are no Palestinians that have any standing, any clout or anything like that. Yasser Arafat was the last one. He actually was rich, living among impoverished people. And I've always had the contention that the leaders of these Arab nations are all in on it too, because it just doesn't make any sense. I think Assad, Ahmadinejad, Arafat, they were all bought off a long time ago. This whole thing is a case of the evildoers thinking 3 steps ahead, 3 years ahead of anybody that catches on. And a guy like Beck is brought in to be a distraction, and just, I mean, he's a Mormon. There are only 2 kinds of Mormons. Only 2. The people that know the Mormon doctrine is absolute BS, absolute. It's not even understandable how anybody could fall for it or believe it, other than them growing up with it from childhood. And that's the other kind of Mormon, somebody that believes in the faith, but they're just kind of a victim of circumstance because they're family. Well, Beck joined the Mormon church when he was over 40 years old, from what I understand. He put out a video just talking about Israel being victimized by Hamas and the terrorists. It's like, no. I love it when people like that just absolutely shoot themselves in the foot, and all those expressions that he does with that arrogant look on his face, like he knows things that you don't, and he's glaring at you as if you're stupid or there's something wrong with you if you can't catch on, or if you don't believe him outright as soon as he's done speaking a sentence. That's the way I see Glenn Beck. Ridiculous. And it's funny to watch the little swaps, him and Alex Jones, you know, getting on each other. Beck resorts to a lot more ridicule, name-calling, doesn't back up anything, brags, the exclusive on the Blaze, this is an exclusive, you know, just the Blaze, the Blaze, the Blaze in his new show with the Blaze sign over his shoulders. I mean, Jones does that with InfoWars, but, you know, anytime you see something like that, you're dealing with pure propaganda. This is no prayer that you're wrong about it. I mean, Glenn Beck won't do anything for you. And just like Michael Moore wouldn't do anything for you, they get rich. Just another guy who smiles, talking about all these atrocious things, and he makes up a lot of it. And you gotta, unfortunately, do a lot of work to figure that out. And it's just like, okay, I just wasted my time. There's nothing I can do. I can't sue him or anything. And a guy like that is spewing this stuff at people. And kaboom, that's just... he's horrible. And yeah, anytime you get somebody with a major bias towards Israel, like Joseph Farah of WND, they're paid off. Gatekeeper, absolutely. You know, just massive funding going to these people just to keep that... that lie alive, because there's just no one in mainstream or anything that really exposes it, that has any power of real funding behind them. You look at a map of Israel as opposed to where the Palestinians have any kind of locality, and they're disappearing people, and it's disgusting. Anybody that approves of that or goes with that strict bias of Israel without scolding them about anything, you're dealing with a liar. Or somebody that has a soul that you probably would never be able to comprehend. You might even be dealing with a cyborg that was created in a lab a long time ago. That's potentially what I think of Glenn Beck.